crap out of people. More than I have to. Some are even still in the hospital. I've had idiot teachers who like to talk big, so I taught them a lesson, and they never came back to class. If I go to a restaurant and the food's bad, I make it a policy to stiff them with the bill. But even a bastard like me can spot true evil when he sees it. True evil are those who use the weak for their own gain, then crush them underfoot when they're through. Especially an innocent woman. And that is exactly what you've done, isn't it? And your stand gets to hide from the victim, the law, and the consequences. That's why. I will judge you myself!
I did a little research. My grandfather, Jonathan JOESTAR, your great-grandfather, died while at sea. Turns out this exact same coffin was on that boat with him when he died. When they discovered it 4 years ago, it was empty. But I know exactly what was inside it.
Now I think even a glorified pimple like you should see the difference in our fighting experience. When your opponent starts boasting, he's already lost. That shrew is a line from my wilder days. Like a fine wine, I guess I just get better with age.
I am a fortune teller by trade. I have a shop in a souk called Khan Khalili. It was a full moon that night. And there he was. Magician's Run! Yes, you have better believe I am! Polnareff, you haven't changed in the slightest. You still lose all common sense when it comes to your sister, and never stop to think of the consequences.
You should have listened, Jojo. I told you you're gonna regret this, didn't I? This is the attack of my stand, Hierophant Greed!
There's no way! No one could just deflect the Emerald Splash!
Good one, huh? I'm only playing with you. Good old JOTARO.
JOTARO! Don't leave yet! You forgot something important! Silly boy. Here is your goodbye kiss.
Oh, JOTARO. You never tell me anything. All that does is make me worry about you all the time. But still, I know that deep down you really do mean well. You're a very sweet little boy at heart.
Pardonnez-moi. We haven't been introduced yet. My name is Jean-Pierre Polnareff. It's been 3 years now. My younger sister and a classmate of hers were walking home from school in the rain, back in our native France. It was a country road, much like any other. On the side of the road, a man stood with his back to them. What's the matter? Didn't you say you were going to bite off my balls or something, tough guy? Go ahead and try it. I dare you, you vulgar little shit!
My stand is the tower card, which signifies horrible accidents and the end of journey. I'll keep you from Lord Dio if it's the last thing I do. Even if you manage to survive the crash, you're still 10,000 kilometers from Egypt. Those who swore loyalty to Lord Dio will pursue you relentlessly. You don't stand a chance in hell. There are stands in this world with powers that defy the very limits of imagination. Lord Dio's power is the one that rules over all of them. He is the master of stands, reigning over the world like a god among mortals. There's no way you'll reach him alive. You bastards won't even see Egypt. Your deaths will be swift and painful.
I must request that you not smoke on deck. What were you planning on doing with the ash and butt after you were done? Were you just going to toss them into these pristine waters? You may be a guest on this ship, but you will abide by my rules. Don't play games with me. You're trying to sound tough, but I know the truth, boy. The real terror of all this is starting to sink into your thick skull. I can even tell what you're thinking. How long can he stay underwater? I can probably last about 2 minutes, but can he last longer than me? Am I right, brother?
Well, if you insist, my name is Soul Sacrifice. And since you're probably wondering, my stand is the card of the devil. It represents insanity of the cursed, and a precipitous and malevolent fall into ruin. But tell me, how did you know I was hiding inside the
The
fridge?
carpet's soaked with beer, juice, and alcohol. You have a well-stocked bar that I put to good use. If I had piss in me, I would have soaked you in it to make it even wetter. Oh, look, a hairdryer. And it's lit up like a fireworks show at a summer festival.
I'm Yellow Temperance of the Temperance Card. Gaze upon my handsome face with envy. Come now, JOTARO, old pal. Take a good look at your hand. See that little bit of me? It latched on when you hit me and really doesn't want to let go. I was only kidding around, Mr. JOTARO. I swear I was just messing with you, buddy. Didn't mean anything by it, okay? Be cool, man, be cool. It was just a prank. Wait, hang on a second. You're not thinking about punching me anymore, are you? I'm seriously injured here. My nose is badly broken and my jaw's gonna have to be wired shut.
You know it's bad manners to eavesdrop. You think I spend too much time on romance, don't ya? Well, when you've got girls like her all over the world at your beck and call, well, you've always got an ally, a partner. They'd do anything for me, even throw away their own lives. Whole whores. That's what they call me. I'm a stand user, just like you are, and my card is the Emperor. Lord Dio paid me to get rid of you guys, so say your prayers and get ready for a beating.
That man is some beggar who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I just carved a small wound in him, the same wound you were so gracious to give me. You sacrificed your entire youth just to hunt me down. And just when you're close, you're going to fail to avenge your sister? How pathetic and sad. Meanwhile, I, Centerfold, will continue a life surrounded by young beauties like your sister. I can see it now. Oh, the pleasures!
Oh, Daddy dearest, you've done a wonderful job of raising me. But you know, you shouldn't tie your children down or they won't grow. It only smothers them. You should raise them to be free. If not, they might rebel. It's Koltar! That was your plan all along! It wasn't to suffocate me. You were trying to keep me from moving! But how? How did you know there was Koltar in there?
Don't even know what hit you, huh? You'll soon find out! The moment you croak, that is! Go ahead and climb! There's no path left for you to take! No way to escape, no way to survive, and last but certainly not least, no future! Because this Wheel of Fortune is going to grind you into mincemeat and splatter you all over these boulders!
Damn babbling, pathetic fool! It is you I despise most, Polnareff! I'll make you suffer a pain 1,000 times worse than what my son endured! Then I'll cut off your dick and rip out your guts to finish you off! That's right, this is justice! A stand that's made of fog! Any wound my stand happens to graze becomes a gaping hole, and then my stand justice always prevails! All it needs is one small scratch, and then your life is as good as forfeit. You've fallen into my trap, JOTARO!
I see. So that's your plan? Putting some distance between me and the old man might make my stand's power vanish without a trace? Sorry, bud. My stand's physical weakness is made up for in other ways. The lovers may be physically weak, but its range is farther than any stand in existence. It doesn't matter how far they run, their lives are forfeit, as long as it remains in a host. It might interest you to know that my stand, the lovers, just went into that girl's ear. Now he's heading for her brain. You better not move, JOTARO! Here's what's about to happen. I'm gonna stab you in the back with this knife and make sure that you're never able to move again! Attack me with your Star Platinum, and this girl's pathetic life ends right here and now! But you would never allow such an innocent child to die, would you?
For a second there, I thought he'd actually figured me out. But now the poor louse is half doubting himself. To top things off, we're in the middle of the desert. All I have to do is wait until they fall asleep. If there's no one to wake them up. Lolly-ho! Surprise! I'm a fake! Oh, the overwhelming power! The absolute terror! It's so much fun! A stand is a manifestation of the mind. And what are dreams if not the mind laid bare? My Death 13 has trapped you within your subconscious, which is why you can't summon your precious stands. Although, things might be different had you summoned your stands before you fell asleep.
So I take it knowing the answer to that question is your second wish. Though it's a little on the boring side if you ask me, but I owe you a debt of gratitude for letting me out of that lamp, so I shall grant your wish. Indeed, but know that since you made 2 wishes, I'll grant them in the order you asked. First, I will grant your second wish to bring back your sister. Hail to you! This battle has already been decided. Tell you what, AVDOL, before you head off for that magic lamp in the sky, I'd like to hear your 3 wishes. I'll grant them before I put you to rest for good. Go ahead. You may as well give it a shot. As I said, you get 3 wishes.
Yoo-hoo! JOTARO! Believe it or not, you're actually my type. So this is going to be as painful for me as for you. But despite my feelings, I still have to make the High Priestess digest you.
Huh?
How sad. If only our encounter had been under different circumstances. But if I kill you, Lord Dio will no doubt shower me with praise. So don't hate me. Oh, give up, Jotaro! Those teeth are as hard as diamonds! You'll never be able to break them! It's time for you to meet your end!
Hey, I warned you, punks! You gonna be a man and talk to me? Or do you just want to get shanked? Which is it, huh? My demon blade wants the blood of its 340th victim, and you all look like prime cut. Do you want me to open the cage for you? But I can't. I have no idea where the key is. And you're too big to let out.
Ooh.
You're giving me an apple? But it doesn't make any sense. This apple's been cut with a knife, and the color hasn't really changed yet. It looks totally fresh, like it was cut a second ago. So, I guess there really must be someone hiding somewhere on this boat. Where is the person who feeds you? Has he gone off and left you here? Huh?
You have no idea how right you are, madam. Master Jotaro and Master Joseph are most likely in the midst of battling a common enemy as we speak. They're fighting tooth and nail to save Miss Holly, someone very dear to them, from a curse of unbridled evil. When speaking to her mother on the phone, Miss Holly says that her illness is nothing more than a cold. She's quite insistent that there's no cause for alarm, but her condition worsens by the day. Master Joseph, don't you think the time has finally come to tell Madame JOESTAR the truth? It's hard for me to believe it, but at this point it's already been 30 years that I've worked for the JOESTAR family. But I can honestly say that we've never faced something of this magnitude.
Oh, come now, you're overreacting. Oh, heavens me, I just don't know. Which one should I pick? Between the two, the sparkly design is much more to my liking. But is it appropriate for the charity event tomorrow? Perhaps a refreshing white would be better. What do you think, Rosas?
Why, yes, I have. In fact, I spoke to her on the phone yesterday. She mentioned catching a cold that's developed into a bout of pneumonia. She tried convincing me that it wasn't serious, but I'm thinking about going to visit her.
Oh, come now, you're overreacting. Didn't he say it was just a little business trip?
Oh, well, I suppose so.
It's so troublesome when men act selfish and refuse to tell us anything. But I've grown accustomed to it. The JOESTAR family has been like this for an entire century. I'm sure if she were here, she'd say the same thing and laugh it all off.
Again. Just now,
A most intense feeling like someone somewhere is watching me. It is Jonathan's descendants. This body is sending out some kind of spiritual signal to his offspring. Fine. It must be my fate. But fate must be purged. It's all set. I've taken the first step. Meddlesome flies swarming around been swatted? That Speedwagon Foundation. For pity's sake, I can't let my guard down for a minute. I must say, I've gotten quite used to this body. Tell me, Jonathan, can you feel it? Your descendants are inching ever closer. It can be so cruel and unforgiving. This wretched little world of ours.
On a day like any other, a motorboat was found adrift and abandoned. The craft was largely undamaged and showed no signs of struggle. In the galley, 3 cups of coffee sat half full. And on deck, an iron chest, its lock melted away, lay open and empty. But the chest's unusual shelter-like chambers baffled discoverers who believed it to have once contained a vast treasure. But interest waned, and before long, the chest was forgotten.